We begin today with efforts by a rising number of states to reopen this week, despite the risk people will get sick from the coronavirus. In California, tens of thousands of people crowded the beaches over the weekend. It was tough to see, even though a stay-at-home order is still in place in that state. In Georgia, some businesses are now open to customers after a controversial decision by the state's governor there.
There are signs that social distancing is helping flatten the curve, but the numbers from the virus continue to rise. We are now nearing 1 million reported cases nationwide at more than 965,000, and the reported death toll is now more than 54,000. Mark Strassmann is in Atlanta, where more businesses are expected to reopen today. Mark, the question on everyone's mind, how's it going so far?
Good morning, Tony. Well, today's going to be interesting. This reopening, this next step in Georgia's reopening, will gauge public attitudes about all this. Movie theaters and restaurants like the Waffle House behind me can now seat people inside. They have to maintain social distancing, and it's hardly business as usual.
The weekend was a little slow.
Jason Griggers held what he called a soft opening at his Atlanta area salon this weekend. He served a handful of clients, his first in.
We're trying to stagger our clients and not just load them in here so there's not so many people in here at one time. We can practice good social distancing.
Georgia's not alone in relaxing stay-at-home orders. Elected officials are making similar decisions around the country, sometimes against the advice of public health officials.
Social distancing will be with us through the summer to really ensure that we protect one another as we move through these phases.
But with roughly 1 in 6 Americans without a job, the prolonged quarantine has shredded state economies. Some governors say it's time to move forward.
We're always going to be data-driven.
Oklahoma's Republican Governor Kevin Stitt announced some businesses like gyms and restaurants will be free to open on Friday.
The two guiding principles that I told Oklahomans we're going to use through this whole process was the health and safety of Oklahomans, number one, and then mitigate the loss to our economy and get our workers back working as quickly as possible.
That sentiment has bipartisan support. Colorado's Democratic Governor Jared Polis announced his state's stay-at-home order would end today.
What we know is that what matters a lot more than the date that the stay-at-home ends is what we do going forward. It doesn't accomplish anything if it's not replaced with practices that are sustainable for the weeks and months that it's likely to remain with us.
At least 12 states are easing restrictions on non-essential businesses like restaurants, salons, and some retailers. None has met the CDC's guidelines for relaxing social distancing rules, a 14-day decline in hospitalizations. On Sunday, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said some businesses in his state could reopen as soon as May 15th. He called on them to think outside the box.
This is not a one-sided equation here. Businesses, you develop a plan on how you would reopen given everything we now know.
Hundreds of businesses here that could reopen are staying shut. Their owners think it's just too soon. And a number of mayors in Georgia agree with that decision to stay closed. They're worried that reopening could lead to a second wave of infections. Anthony?
Mark, thank you.